Customers want a pattern for sewing this boutique garment. Want 5 sizes SML XL 2XL. Oh my god. This shirt is a shirt no sleeves, but I will make sleeves for customers too. Vintage shirt hem.
Customers want all 5 sizes. Size S and M are the sizes of normal people who don't have a belly. L size starts to have a belly. XL size. Size XL and XXL are the sizes of fat people with a belly.
The waistline of a size S and M person is a concave curve, which is a normal person's size. It is a normal person with D body shape. For size LXL/XXL, it starts to be straight and curves out in the opposite direction of size S and M. Fat POP. L will bend out. The waistline of a skinny person will curve inward. Summary of size S and M. The waistline is curved inward, while size L, XL and XXL, the waistline is curved out. The back of an obese person is more convex than usual. The shoulder scales are large and short. For a normal person, the back K area is slightly curved and the shoulder scales are slender and long. I used to work as a tailor before. By measuring the cutter individually allows us to learn each person's physique. Fat people, skinny people find irregular shapes. I am currently a freelance pattern artist. Even so, I don't have as much experience as my mother-to-be, but I've learned a bit about each shape so I can fully work as a freelance pattern artist. Let's start creating a preliminary pattern. First, measure down from the header. About 7 to 10 centimeters. The neckline is the he. Height of the side of the neck in this area. We will do size S. Size details are already on this sheet of paper. Asian C. Thigh size. The front length of the S size is 34 centimeters. The front length measurement can be done as follows. Place the tape measure from the front of the neck to the waist. Neck circumference measurement. Measure around the base of the neck, the collarbone point. Define it as the front neck BU. Not measure up to the middle of the neck like TTON. Measure the base of the neck, which is below the base of the neck. The front length measurement is place the tape measure at the button of the front neck to the waist. Waist measure. And we will not measure the neck, or the smallest. We will measure through the navel point as the waistline. The reason is if the smallest point is used as the waist will L make the body short. Also in the process of creating a pattern the scales will be closed up. We'll make the body short. R again until it looks funny. The shape seems disproportionate. Therefore, we will take the navel point as the waist. R the back, use the narrowest point, and the waistline will curve down towards the navel. But there are exceptions for very obese people. Belly dangling, the navel will flow lower. Can't use the navel as a waist. The front length is 43 centimeters. For size M, place the tape measure at the neckline down, 43 centimeters as the waistline. For as E and M size, use a ruler to measure it because the tape measure will have a stretch. The resulting numbers will not be accurate. The ruler does not stretch, but the tape measure is stretched, so use a ruler to measure it. When the waistline after that, we come to the upper hip line and the lower hip line. The upper hip line and the lower hip line are not the same for each person, but for the M size, it is the size of a normal person. To measure, place a tape measure at the waistline. Read the value at the upper hip. Read the value at the bottom hip. The lower hip is the largest part of the hip. From my experience, for small size people, it is 11 centimeters from the waist down to the upper hip, 11 cm from the top hip down to the lower hip for Asian sizes. Draw the upper hip line. Draw the lower hip line. We have the upper hip line and the lower hip already. This method is for normal people only, not for obese people or unusually shaped people. I will draw one example as an example. Act 2. Ally. There are many irregular shapes, but I quoted one example as the shape of an abnormal person with the upper hip larger than the lower hip, the distance from the waist to the upper hip, with the height from the top of the hip to the low W. Hips are not balanced, which is in the opposite direction of a normal person. Then look back and look at the mannequins in schools that each school has for students to learn basic tailoring. It's ONLY when we go to work, learn from real experience, meet customers with strange shapes, so that we can get all the subjects. I, too, still have a lot to learn. But it's true that while we put it into practice and actually work to gain experience, but if we don't have an understanding of the physique, we don't understand it and don't notice it, and worse, there is no good teacher to guide us. Pointing the way, we may not have any development, might waste time like a needle in the ocean. The waistline. The hip line on the lower hip line. Next we will make the breast line. Breast line, we're not going to use a method to divide the neckline and the waistline into the chest line. We're not going to use this method anymore. But we will use the intersection of the high breast and the distance between the breast. This intersection point will be the breast point. We will use this method. Let's look at the distance between the breasts of size S in this paper. The distance between the breasts is 17 centimeters. So, divide the tape measure in half or divide 17 by 2. How much is 2? Or how much you can divide it in half, measure it from the middle of the page, measure it from the center line or the edge of the paper on the right hand side and draw a line. After the distance between the breasts, next we will do the breast. In this paper, size M, breast height equals 20 centimeters. but faux. Are measuring individual cutters. There are measurement methods as follows. Place the tape measure at the button of the fro. NT neck. Tape the tape measure to the top of the breast. Read the value at the vertex or the highest point of the breast. And add 2 centimeters as the breast height. Reasons to add 2 centimeters: because in the method of making a pattern, there will be closing the opening. Is to use SC. Easers to cut close the paper, Scotch tape to close to the body. There will be many closures that will cause the shirt to float up, causing the milk to not meet the block. After this step is done, use a measuring tape to check your breasts match the blocks. Adding a breast height of 2 centimeters is a result of my own work experience. At that time, I accepted the bridesmaid dress for the first time. I learned to accept the job after studying. I studied and did it like that without noticing. There is a trick that makes the work that is not quality. An error occurred. From the mistakes in the beginning of the work, the bad days make me stressed for a long time. I work with stress Bekow. Say I don't understand, but in the end, bad days will lead to better things. As it happened, it led to a better point, adding me to a breakthrough that until now I'm not afraid of making underwear, no more fear. I remember the day when a customer called and told me that the breasts were not blocked. My breasts were sloping down below the breasts floating upwards, but that's okay, it made me look like a teenage girl's breast. But when I listened to it, I was relieved that the customer forgives. But I feel not okay, so I bring it back to develop the work further. We are going to make a breast line. This is the front neck button. The front neck button is obtained from intersecting point neckline and center line. Breast height is 20 centimeters. Place a tape measure at the front neck button. The temple is oblique to spacing of the bras. 20 centimeters. How far can you measure obliquely down? Mark the point. It is the vertex of the breast, then measure from the CK line down to the vertical vertex of the breast to make the chest line. Breast line. High breast line. In short, the breast line is derived from the high breast line and the distant breast line. This is our working principle. And next, we will make a neck box. I'll give you a brief look and explain in detail later. Where the neckline is Mizu. Read to the left from the front center line, 6.5 centimeters from the front center line. From the point 6.5 centimeters, measured perpendicularly up to 7 centimeters, the perpendicular line is the neck box. Where did these numbers come from? The source is how many measurements around the base of the neck will be divided by 6. For the horizontal line, add 0.5 centimeters. As for the vertical neckline that is perpendicular upwards, add 1 centimeter. For example, measure around the base of the neck equal to 36 centimeters and divide by 6. Neck circumference 36/6 equals 6. In the formula, the horizontal neckline is added to 0.5. 6 plus 0.5 equals 6.5. As for the vertical neckline, add 1 centimeter. 6 plus 1 equals 7. Conclusion: horizontal neckline 6.5, vertical neckline 7 centimeters for normal shape. as for the vertical neckline, add 1 cm. 6 plus 1 equals 7. Conclusion horizontal neckline 6.5 vertical neckline 7 cm for normal shape. Next, take the vertical neckline, divide it in half or divide 2 by 7 halves to get 3.5 cm. Draw a horizontal right line T. O the left, as a support line for the flow line. My shoulder is this line. Draw a line from the high neckline down to the shoulder buttons. It's a triangular line rig. T here. To measure, place the tape measure at the base of the neck on the side and take a reading at the shoulder button. The method of measurement is not only measuring one side of the shoulder, also measuring the total shoulder. Total shoulder, place the tape measure from one shoulder button to the other shoulder button neck curve or measure the C. Curve through the back neck button and read the value at the other shoulder button. Don't forget that the dorsal horn is rounded. This is the hump. Everyone has a hump. Curved temple. Don't measure in a straight line. How much is the total shoulder measurement? To divide in half, then measure from the center line and shoulder support. When the total shoulder line is divided in half will be equal to one shoulder or maybe nearby. Let's take the overall shoulder as the main. For standard sizes on this sheet of paper, the shoulder line is equal to 11.5 centimeters. Let's compare it with the one that we measure, whether it is similar or not. Finished and measured obliquely from the high neckline or the vertical neckline down to the shoulder line, equal to the measured shoulder result. The result shoulder line that measures one side of the shoulder with a combined shoulder may be close to each other, or little overlap. It's considered accurate when you draw the shoulder line and divide it in half by folding the tape measure in half. When the shoulder line is divided in half, mark the point and draw a line to connect to the breast point. Next we will make the breast line. Waistline hip line. Ask how much plus for the total. I add 4 centimeters equal to all parts. For a shirt day wear. Making clothes day dress, which is not an evening dress, not a bride's dress, we will add 4 sets to wear during the day. The bust, waist circumference, hip circumference will add 4 equal lines. We will not make the dress fit like a bra. Th is as a shirt. Outside, say 4 centimeters is the same. Ask why plus 4 centimeters, why not add more? If you add more, it will be general clothing branded clothes for sale plus 4. This is a semi-formal tailoring work. Want to fit if doing crochet, not positive, so I made it close to the body that it fits. He bridesmaid's dress, plus only 3 centimeters. The shirt we are making, it's a set of shirts to wear during the day plus 4 centimeters. Equal to both bust, waist, and hips. Why are all plus 4 cents equal? Answer that in order to balance the gap of the fabric and the human shape, let it balance. See each other. The rest are the same. The formula is around the breast waistline hip circumference plus 4 is all the same. How much can you divide all 4 equal? Od? Bring the result. front piece, add 1 back piece, then subtract 1 piece, front plus 1 to make the front piece bigger and the back because the front piece is oily. Have breasts. Breast circumference plus 4. The meaning of plus 4 is to add looseness so that it is comfortable and not too tight around the B. Waist plus 4/4. The meaning of dividing 4 is dividing 4 because it has 4 parts. The front piece has left and right pieces. The back has left and right together into 4 parts. You understand why it is divided by 4, right? Well, the pattern has 4 fronts, 2 backs, 2 fronts left and right. Left and right back together into 4 parts. Now we're doing a 1/2 pattern with our hands covered. We're doing 1/2, we're only doing half of the body right now. In principle, before creating a pattern you should watch the clip to measure yourself first. Watch the clip at the top. A lower before I made the hairpin to measure the shirt. But it's in tie. If there is a chance, I will translate it into English for you. Please follow. To measure the circumference of the breast, measure through the vertex of the breast, the highest point. We may not be able to see the nipple, but let us aim with our eyes. Take the highest point where the tape measure must cross. The back of the tape measure must be perpendicular to the ground. It should not be dropped or dropped. As for waist measurement, we will not use the smallest point. The most important thing is the waist because in creating the pattern, there will be an open storage that is covered with Scotch tape upwards. The shirt will float up to make shirt look funny and look short, so we will use the navel point. It's a waist for normal people but for obese people. But for obese people, they cannot use their navel as their waist because obese people have a belly. The tummy will sag. Lower, the navel will flow down and down, so we must visually aim to find a balanced point to find a suitable point as a waist for obese people. Summary of the waist. For people of normal body shape, use the navel point as the waist, but if you are fat people, aim in the eyes to find the balance point as the waist because the navel flows down because of the big belly and look behind. The back, take that point. The smallest is the waist. The tape measure will then curve around the navel or plump the B. Allen's point as the waist. And hip measurement. Around the hips, measure the largest and widest part of the buttocks. Next, let's find the circumference of the breast. Around the breast of size S, on this sheet of paper equals 80 centimeters, add 80 centimeters to 4, plus only 4 centimeters loose, plus add 4 loose, can plus more is needed. Example breast circumference 80 plus 4/4 equals 21 front piece equals 21 plus 1 back piece. Let's do it around the breast. Let's take the result that we found. We will write it in the middle. The number 21 is WR. It and in the middle. For the front piece, add the result to 1. 21 plus 1 is 22, measured from the center of the front line to the left, equal to 22 centimeters for the circumference of the front breast. After that we will scroll down the paper to make the hips. The formula for the hips is to find the same as the breast. See Circumference, it is hips plus 4/4 as well, and the result is 23, we will write number 23 in the middle of this piece, FR. Ant plus 1 piece after -1 is the same. 23 plus 1 equals 24 measured from the center line of the front equal to 24 centimeters. After that, draw a side seam line, which is the line connecting the breast line and the hip line. It's the side seam line. Let me explain a little. Chest circumference plus 4/4. The result is added 1 for the front piece plus 1 because the front of the piece has the breast, and therefore the fabric of the front piece is needed to be larger than the back piece to accommodate the breast. Please. Here is me measure wrong, it's 22. Let me draw a new skeletal line. And after that we will make the back piece. The back piece is made like the front piece. Just subtract 1 result from result. Bring the result equals 21 to 1, leaving 20 measured from the center line of the back. Coming out to the left is L to 20 centimeters. As for the hips, the result is 23 minus 1 equals 22. Measure out to the left from the middle of the back equals 22 centimeters. After that, draw the side seam line. Please follow the next part in the next clip. Please leave my work. I'm a freelance pattern contractor. If you are far from abroad, you can order as a PDF file to send. Please follow the next part in the next clip. Please leave my work. I'm a freelance pattern contractor. If you are far from abroad, you can order as a PDF file to send.